let's see some properties about the triangle, then we shall see the problems. So the first one is sum of the angles of the triangle is 180. In a triangle we know that the name itself says that there are three angles, isn't it? Triangle, three angles. So now if you add all the angles together, the sum is going to be 180. And next one is the sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than its third side. Now assume that the length of this side is A and the length of this side is B and the length of this side is C. Now you can choose any two sides and you add them up, the lengths, then that will definitely be greater than the third side. So what I mean to say is, if you take A plus B, that will definitely be greater than C. Similarly, you can take B plus C, that will definitely be greater than A, right? So this is the meaning of this statement. And then next one is area of a triangle equal to half into base into height. Now for any triangle you can apply this. So what is meant by half into base into height is, if you take this one as the triangle, you can consider any of the sides as the base. Okay, now if you are taking this one as the base, then you drop a perpendicular from this point down to this. Okay, now the length of this line is called as height. In case if you take this one as the base, then you have to start from the other side. You take that point and drop a perpendicular onto this, that one is called as the height. Now if you assume that this is the base, then this one is going to be the height. So in order to find out the area, the formula is half into base into height. Find out the length of the base, length of the height, and then you multiply them. Now if you see this, either base will be measured in centimeters or meters, and height will be measured in centimeters or meters. Now if you if you apply a product, it is going to be centimeter square or meter square. That is how area is measured, right? Square meters or square centimeters. That is why you are going to get two lengths here. Got it? Okay. Now other way, in order to measure the this area, the other way is, let us assume that we are given the lengths of three sides. Instead of giving this base and height, let us say we know the lengths of three sides, A, B and C. Now instead of finding out the height, you can directly use these numbers and you can find out the area. So how to find it out is, first find out S. So S is nothing but A plus B plus C by 2, which means you have to add all this, divide by 2, and then after finding out S, you can find out the area using this formula. Square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Now even here also, if you see this, S will definitely be in meters or centimeters, isn't it? So meters, 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 meters. So meter power 4, square root, meter square, right? Therefore again area will be measured in meter square or centimeter square. Okay, so based on the given data, you can either apply this one or this one. If base and height is given, apply this. If all the sides are given, apply this. Okay, fine. Now let's see this classification of triangles based on the sides. So if you see the length of the sides, by looking at them you can classify the triangles into three types. If all the sides are different, then we can call it as the scale length triangle. So scale length triangle means the triangle, the sides need not be equal. Okay, and isosceles triangle means if two sides are equal, then we call it as the isosceles triangle. So one more property is, let us say this and this both are equal and we need not care about it. If these two are equal, then the angle opposite this, which means this one, will be equal to the angle opposite this. So opposite angles will also be equal. If these two sides are equal, then these two angles will be equal. Got it? The angles opposite to the equal sides are equal, where in an isosceles triangle. So if a triangle is having these properties, then we call it as the isosceles. And similarly, and also you can think of it this way: if two angles are equal, then the opposite sides will be equal, right? Or if two sides are equal, then the opposite angles will be equal. Anyway, if two of them are equal, we can call it as the isosceles triangle. Now, equilateral triangle. If all the sides are equal, then it is called as equilateral triangle, right? And all the angles will also be equal in that case. If you assume that each angle is x, then 3x equal to 180, then you can find out that x equal to 60 degrees in an equilateral triangle. Now one more thing is, the area of an equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 a square, where a is the side, one side. So we can also prove this. Now let us assume that this is the equilateral triangle. Now we already know that area of a triangle is half into base into height, right? So since all of them are having side as A, you can consider anything as a base. Let us assume that this is the base. Now if I can find out this height, I can find out the area, half into base into height, right? Now if you observe this, in a right angle triangle we have this property. If one of the angle is right angle, see this. So even we are going to classify the triangles based on the angles. If an angle in a triangle is less than 90 degrees, then it is called as acute angle triangle. If one angle is greater than 90 degrees, then it is called as, if all angles are less than 90, it is called as acute angle triangle. If one of the angle is equal to 90 degrees, it is called as right angle triangle. And if one of the angles is greater than 90, it is called as obtuse angle triangle. Got it? So we are going to classify based on the angles. If all the angles are less than 90, acute, one of it is equal to 90, right angle triangle. If one of it is greater than 90, then it is called as obtuse angle triangle. Now coming to this right angle triangle, we have a property here. Now assume that, okay, what is right angle triangle? We are going to have 90 degrees here, right? Now the side opposite this right angle is called as hypotenuse. Okay, let us say it is hypotenuse, and this is a side and this is a side. Now assume that this length of this one is A and the length of this one is B. Then according to Pythagoras theorem says that A square plus B square equal to H square. Side square plus side square equal to hypotenuse square. Got it? And these two sides need not be equal. They may be equal, may not be equal. Whatever the case is, this rule will always be applicable. A square plus B square equal to H square, right? Okay. Now coming to this equilateral triangle, we are trying to prove that area of it is root 3 by 4 A square. Now once I drop a perpendicular from this point to this side, we are going to get this as, since it is a perpendicular, the angle is 90 degrees. Also this particular perpendicular is going to divide this side into two halves. So the size of this one is going to be A by 2 and size of this one is going to be A by 2, right? Now what is height? The length of this one is height. Let's call it as H. Okay. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, if you can see this right angle triangle, let us say A, B, C. If you can see this right angle triangle ABC, now this one is going to be a side whose length is H, as well as this one is going to be a side BC whose length is A by 2, and this one is going to be hypotenuse whose length is A. So H square plus A by 2 whole square equal to A square according to Pythagoras theorem, right? H square plus A by 2 whole square equal to A square, right? That implies H square equal to A square minus A square by 4. Therefore it is going to be 3A square by 4, right? That implies, what is the height? Height H equal to root 3 by 2 A. So we got the height as root 3 by 2A, and we know the base is A. Now we can directly substitute in the formula, half into base into height. So it is going to be half into, what is base? Base is A, and what is height? Height is root 3 by 2 A. It is going to be root 3 by 4 A square, right? So this is the area of a right angle triangle. Okay, sorry, area of a equilateral triangle, not right angle triangle. Okay, fine.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177, and IIT Roorkey's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkey, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkey is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkey. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.